So, what we're doing today is we're going to install this door I got on eBay on the side of here, this area here. And I have done this before. Come around to the front here. While everybody else in the Northeast is having heavy duty snow, we're having a lot of rain here in the Kentucky area. So what we're going to do is that's why I've got this in the garage, so I can finally get some work done on this thing, because I want to go camping in a couple of weeks. So we're going to put another door on that one front side, just like this one. And what's good about this is I'm going to use the same measurements on this one as I did on this one. Worked out just perfect, so I'm going to use the same measurements for this one for the other side as well. And hopefully I don't have any problems with that. Got this strip back in here. First couple things I got to do is I got to move this wire right here, so I won't be cutting into it. I'll just move it up to this wood strip to get it out of my way. And we'll see in a little bit when I get a little further down the road on it. One thing I'm having to do is where I'm putting this, they put all these data sheets over here. And this one here has your tire pressures. And this one here is really important because it actually has your VIN number. I'm not sure if it's somewhere else on the camper. Now I'm going to try peeling this off. And this side here I'm actually going to cut out of the plexiglass, or this glass here, and just mount it somewhere inside underneath the counter. That way the specifications will actually be with the camper still. So got to figure some way to work with that now, and I'll let you know how it works out for me. Okay, after looking at the way I did the other one, I measured up, and I think it was 2.5 inches from up to here. That gives you enough room to put a board in here to mount your door. It also gives you room at the top to mount a small board. That way that flange on that door will attach. And like I say, I did this before, but I'm just kind of showing you some extra things. One thing I do is I do measure all this. I put all this stuff with the tape to guard. I also put some around this light. You just don't want to have gashes and stuff into this. I protected the bottom of the jigsaw with tape so you don't get scratches. And almost ready to cut. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a drill and drill holes, one here at the top, to make sure my measurements are the same on this side as the other side, because I might have to do some adjustment if that doesn't work out. And then we'll get cutting. One thing you might notice that I did is I also did make this a 1/4 inch. I learned last time, unless I made this about a 1/4 inch bigger than my door opening up on this top. And the reason why is they have rivets put in here and they protrude up, and it causes you to have a hard time getting those in. So it just gives you a little extra room to play with. You want it tight, but you want to be able not to have to force that in there. So okay, what I'm doing now is using this synthetic boards that you use on a decking. It's decking boards. They sometimes call it Trex. I've cut pieces of this. That way it holds up good in the weather. I put a screw in here. This is just to bring this surface up to the edge, and then I'm going to do the same thing up here on the top. Put a piece up here, and then that'll give us something to attach our board to. We'll put this in and we'll drill holes, and then that'll be screwed in with stainless steel screws into this piece. 4 screws to hold that in place. That's the way I did the other side. Okay, I just temporarily put it in here now, and I've drilled a hole here and here, and I've pilot holed it, and I'm going to put a stainless steel screw in 2 there and 2 at the top and the bottom. Like I say, I'll pull this out, show you how. Again, I've added a board up here, small thin board. This one's 3/4 of an inch, this one's a 1/2 inch, and those pilot holes, you can see one right there and one down here. Like I say, that way it doesn't split that out or anything. So now we're going to take and clean off everything real good, and I've got some clear silicone I'm going to put. You want to use 100% silicone, so the inside's going to have the clear, and then I'll tape off the outside, and I have some white to go around the outside edge. So the next time you see this, I should have it installed with the clear on, and then I'll tape off for my white silicone that I put on. When I did this last time, I didn't use 100% silicone and it didn't dry properly. This time I've got it indoors and I'm using 100% silicone, and since I've redid the other door, I haven't had any trouble with leaks. So hopefully this one will work out well too. Okay, I've installed my door. I use clear silicone on the inside edges all the way around, and I'm not very good at putting silicone on the edges. So once I've got that in, got my 4 bolts installed, and then cleaned off the excess silicone, I went ahead and taped off this edge. Gave myself maybe, I don't know, 1/4 inch or smaller all the way around, and I'm going to put white silicone and fill that all the way around, making sure I fill all these gaps. Also, I might run it down here a little bit, hit this crack a little bit where the seam on this is, and my rivets up here on top. And that would pretty much complete it once I get all that done. So let's see how it looks when I get done. If you're wondering what I did with those 2 data plates that I took off the very front when we first started this video, I went ahead and I peeled off pretty good using that hair dryer, and then I put them on a piece of aluminum, and I pop riveted them onto this bottom of this bench. That way it's always attached to somehow. I didn't really want to hook it to a main wall, so that way that VIN number information and the tire information is always there. So just an extra added thing that I did during this project. Okay, it looks like we got this thing done. I'm always messy with the silicone, so like I say, I use tape, but there's still a little bit. I'm not that good at it, but you have to make sure you don't have any voids around that. Didn't have any trouble with my other one leaking, so wanted to make sure this one worked out pretty well too. So that worked out good on the outside, and what this turns into being, I've got a latch that I got to put up here. I got to put it on yet, but I come in a 2-pack from E-Trailer, and I got one for the other one, so I have an extra one. I just haven't put it on yet. So open this up, and this is what this is going to work for. And this goes all the way up underneath. You'll see here it goes way up all the way to the other side. So that's going to be my storage. I'm utilizing that storage there for this. I've got an 8x8 over here, 8x8 awning, and I've got a 10x10. That'll actually fit the 10x10, but I'm mainly just keep the 8 in there. That way, if I ever need it, it's always there. And I also have a screen porch that I might slide in there too. So that works out pretty good for that. And run right here to the side and show you what it looks like on the inside. It turned out pretty good in here. Like I said, there's the door coming in. That way I'll be able to utilize that whole bin right there. Like I say, in my previous videos, I did some drawer here, and I put another cabinet here, and then I already had the one down at this end. So this makes this whole area usable. And like I say, that's going to slide up underneath there and slide through there, and make that whole length usable. So that's about all I got for this project. If If you have any comments, put it in the comment section, and